All right, we are at 1042 South Easy, and let me just start outside here with a little pan around of the neighborhood. This section of Rockaway is detached from downtown. There's a flashing light that gets you pedestrian crossing across the highway to walk over towards the beach. And this is really indicative of this neighborhood. Gravel roads that run parallel to 101 and lots of manufactured homes. There's been some infill with newer stick-built construction, lots of single-wide manufactured homes, and some of these double-wides like this. It's common in this neighborhood also to see kind of like improved RV parking spots. It's a rare zone that allows for that. So you'll have kind of like a shed with RV hookups and sewer power, water. So when folks come out, they can just kind of pull up in their camper and have an improved site. So that's kind of, you'll see those in the neighborhood, and you'll see, here on this side, they've got kind of a RV that's actually got skirting around on theirs towards the back. And then the property on the other side is kind of a big shed barn, and they've got that RV there. So that's pretty common for the neighborhood. It's not abnormal. Looking at this manufactured home, there's some red flags here around the skirting with rot. You can see, and here in the trim, and you can kind of see that vegetation. It looks like maybe there was some deferred maintenance that kind of got ahead of the house a little bit. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know exactly what that means for the inside of it. I'm going to do the outside video, and then we'll walk in and look at the inside. So here's the deck that runs along the side of the house. It seems like it's in pretty good shape. Needs to be sanded, but no spots that I feel worried about walking on. Bang up here on the gutter. Let's see if I can zoom in. Man, it was so warm this weekend, and so now we have some marine layer today, and it's just making for kind of a overcast day. I hope the video is kind of showing. You can see the rust marks coming through in the way that the shutter is pinned up there. That's not structural or a big deal, but I'm not sure it comes through in the video the way you can see it in person. Aluminum windows, classic for the age of the home, and more just evidence of really around the skirting, some rot. Interesting that there's a little outlet here. That's kind of nice. And you can see where the property line is here at this concrete. So it runs like the tarp is on the neighbor's property, and this runs kind of right along here. All gravel. Oh, the shed's in the house. Shed key's in the house, and I forgot to grab it. So we'll loop back around and have a little bit more outside at the end. A couple places here where I feel like we see this kind of a lot, that this trim is rotting. There's a little bit of bubbling in the T111 up above that makes me think that probably needs to come off, and some new siding needs to happen. Here's the HUD tag. If we don't talk about this again, in the event that you decide to move forward with a property, a manufactured home that you reside, it's important to keep this HUD tag visible. So none of this is actively wet at all, but that bubbling definitely indicates that it's water's gotten in there at some point. Here, this is really failing. Cute little backyard space here too with some potential. The roof on the shed, you can see this isn't stainless flashing. So that'll be a maintenance thing going forward. And then just coming along. So this is the south side. Another HUD tag, keeping that in mind. And just more of the same, right? They have, manufactured homes have doors like this on both sides. But here it looks like the stair set from this side actually leads you onto the neighbor's property. So when we go in, we would, won't worry about opening that door. Doesn't go to anywhere. The skirting on this side is really haphazard. Must have really rotted out and failed here. And you can see this rot isn't structural to the home. It's just really structural to holding the skirting on, and there's lots of different skirting systems. But this whole side is really deteriorated here. Some more camera shots there. So let's go ahead and we'll go around and head in. So probably it's not going to come through on the video. You'll see from the map, you'll get a pretty good sense of how far we are from the ocean, but you can't actually hear it all the way back here. I don't know if that's coming through in the sound, but you could sit out here on the deck and hear the ocean from here. And it feels like the beach. I don't know if that makes sense. So storm door has some resting through on the bottom, super normal, given the age of the home and that it's probably a new original storm door. And I just unlocked it before I started the video, and there's no weird funky smells I would expect. I actually would have expected there to be, given the water damage that we saw on some of the trim, but I don't smell anything funny, and there's no like weird cover up. It's not like it's been Febrezed out. There are a couple. So here there's a little seam line, which is kind of interesting. Hard to say if that is really meaningful. There's no other additional cracking or anything, but there's just a little seam line there in the paneling. I'm just gonna kind of keep this on the ceiling for a second. I wanted to show, I don't see any evidence of water damage either in the ceiling or in the walls, which makes me think that this is probably a pretty good candidate for pulling that siding off, redoing the skirting, and then just going ahead and getting some new siding on it. It's gonna need newer carpet. This is probably original and in pretty rough shape. And then the walls, of course, are all this manufactured home, like textured paneling rather than like sheetrock or anything. And that's true the whole way through the home. Backsplash, everything is that way. For the kitchen, a little fridge. Here's built-in dishwasher. There's the stove. Just to give you a little sense of what the cupboards look like. Plumbing. this little built-in table and cabinet up above. First thing here is the laundry room. So this is that door. Those stairs are totally rotten out, and they lead onto the neighbor property, like I pointed out. This is interesting. So washer and dryer on this side, and then the water heater will be inside of this panel, I'm sure. And then hard to know what this is designed for. I guess maybe it had a freezer or just some extra storage. And then furnace is on the back side here. This is, I always love these little notes of how people remember what to get. A tiny, skinny little hall linen closet. And then here is the bathroom. As I'm walking along, no weird sounds or anything. The floor seems solid. Here's sink. Water is off, so we would want that turned on during the course of any inspection, of course. And then here's the tub. Same, I mean, the paneling changes here, but it's just waterproof paneling, no tile or anything. And then directly across, the master bedroom. So again, totally the same paneling and wall cover the whole way through. So ceiling wise, I'll just point out, this is of the era where they did not have any light fixtures in the ceiling. So the switches just go to run the outlets. King size bed with a recliner. This whole wall is closet. Just reach in. It's got a little closet system, which is kind of nice. Still no funny smells, no sign of water staining, not in the walls, nothing I'm seeing in the carpet or on the floor. The furniture all looks like this is probably where the furniture's always been. It doesn't seem like they have moved furniture around to cover anything or anything weird. Here's bathroom, ceiling again, faucet, toilet, and then this is a stepped-in shower. And then one last bedroom down here at the end. So we've got, let me just show you this actually. So see here, just some bubbling with the paneling along that top center seam. Hard to know. No evidence of water or anything, so not really sure what's going on there, but it definitely seems like things have moved a little bit. And then I actually would say this is probably one of the more concerning things I've seen in a manufactured home. It actually looks like you can see daylight out that crack in the back wall. So we don't love that. Interesting that there's just doesn't seem like any evidence of water damage, even with all that splitting and opening up. And then this room is the same with the closet sliding, big wall. And they've got it set up with the two twins in here. So if those were a king, you would have plenty of room on either side again also. Here is the panel, dated 92, and really simple and clean. Doesn't look like much has changed, which, I mean, really sums up the house. It doesn't seem like much has changed since 1992. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that key for the shed and we'll take one quick peek inside of there, just because if we're doing it, we're doing it. 1992. and see what there is to see out there. This is in the city of Rockaway, totally eligible for short-term rental, and of course, a pretty popular area for short-term rentals. Here we go. So here is the shed, little divided into 2 rooms, lots of storage, wiring. I would say that unlike the house, the flooring in here does feel a little more nerve-wracking. And let's see if we got a date on this. Nope, no tags or anything. Interesting. Looks good. No evidence it's permitted, but no reason to believe it isn't. But that's worth noting. And all right, well, that probably is a pretty good tour. Let's see if we can see. So this is where that room, what we saw in that room is going to be all right through here. So on the side away from the weather, but interesting. It's pretty daunting. Pretty daunting. I'm just gonna go put the key back. I don't know that there's anything else really. I'll hold the phone up. I don't think we can get a very good view of the roof. Given everything else we've seen, I would expect that the roof is probably towards end of life. And that's it. Give me a call if you have any questions. I can always come back and do another walkthrough or take pictures of any specific section that you feel like I missed. Interesting that with all those gaps still, I'm usually pretty sensitive to like mildew in a house will really set off my nose, and I'm just so surprised because everything on the exterior would make me expect that inside, and yet I'm not really having those symptoms. That ceiling's something. I think a structural engineer's report would be a really good investment, and those usually run around $300 and can be done pretty quickly. Definitely as important as a regular inspection on this one. That would be my last note probably. Like I said, give me a call and let me know what you think.